The last time I was standing here was at the vigil for the victims of the Bondi Massacre. And in the following weeks, we didn't have a chance to get to know all the people who were killed that day. So it's a real honour to introduce you to one of them that you may not have heard about, Marika Pogany and her inspirational group of girlfriends and family in this deeply personal story of friendship, shared history, and chutzpah.
Bondi Beach is one of those places where all of Australia's melting pot comes together. It means so much to so many different people, and they all get along because everything else fades away when you're in your swimming costume. We're all the same. We all love going in the water and just enjoying the sun and the sand and the fact that it's free. It's a wonderful Australian experience that nobody takes for granted. And underneath all of that is the Jewish ancestry there. You've got the great surf lifesaving culture rubbing up against the Jewish community. Bondi has long been the spiritual home of Sydney's Jews.
The happiest moment in my life to come to Australia.
Bondi let us being Jewish, you know.
They wanted to come as far away as possible to a safe country.
People had gathered at Bondi Beach that evening to celebrate the Jewish festival of Hanukkah. And Hanukkah means rededication.
And when the shooting started, at that moment everything changed.
This was a massacre of Jews. And I think it's important to recognise it as that.
It's beyond belief. Beyond belief.
The amount of support and outpour of just good feelings and love that we've seen from our non-Jewish neighbors is incredible.
Marika knew she was a social butterfly. It's just like this group of girls, they just did everything together, and then every occasion was a celebration. They just lived their life in their lane, and she was definitely the glue of their group. She's like the captain, I guess.
Marika would say, stay strong and be together and show yourself.
The vigil was a very moving experience for me. As I gathered there with thousands and thousands of other people, mainly Jews, but also a lot of non-Jews among the crowd, very strongly reconfirmed that this was a very important event to mark 1 week since the shootings. This was by far the largest assembly of Jews that I had been in, much bigger than what I normally feel when I go to synagogue. And I felt very moved by that. Bondi is an open amphitheatre where thousands of people congregate, and have always felt safe going there. And the idea that those people, Jews and other Australians who come down there every day, every weekend to enjoy what was there, were suddenly becoming targets in an open-air massacre, because that's what it was just too much for me to take in, to be honest.
I couldn't go to the vigil because it would be too much. I just couldn't go there.
No, I'm sorry, I can't go back to Bondi. I'm not ready for that.
We talked about it afterwards, can we go down to the beach? And we all said we just can't go back.
4 friends went down to Bondi Beach to celebrate Hanukkah, and unfortunately only 3 came back.
Marika Pogany, a tireless volunteer who delivered...
Marika rang up, look, Nelly's coming to pick us up with Agi. Why don't you come with us to Hanukkah on the beach?
It was a beautiful Sunday afternoon, and all was excited. Drove down to Bondi, Nelly was driving us, and we walked around and got there about 5:45.
I was standing near, we had a booth, the check-in booth, where everyone would come and pick up a ticket, pick up a donut. I was one of the main organizers. Me and Rabbi Eli, we work hand in hand.
We was facing the beach. All the kids, dozens of kids was dancing there. And was really good atmosphere.
It was getting really hot, and I went to pick up sunscreen at the local chemist, and we were back and forth, just setting up. I remember the traffic coming through.
I saw these security guards. I asked them, I said, how many people are you expecting? They said they're close to 1,000 registered. Look, I said to the girls, let's take the chairs, because the place was filling up. So I said, by the way, can you take a photo of us? While it's not so crowded. 5:56 was taken the picture. This is Mary, Nellie, me, and Marika. I straight away posted, so everybody knows where we are at that moment.
I had to move the car because, first of all, maybe the parking officers catching me. And I thought Marika has to walk really a lot to get to the car back. And Mary came with me because Mary said, I don't let you go by yourself and I need some moving. I said, okay.
It was hot and I thought it's not fair. She brought us and she should do all the work by herself. So I thought it would be, more company for her to walk back as well.
We heard the first shot and I thought it was firework. Everybody thought it was firework. Everybody looked back.
And then it started with pack, 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 pack. And we thought, no, that's a firework or something. But I was surprised because the sun was up. I said, why are they doing firework in the sun?
But once you start seeing grass flying in the air, pieces of things just moving around you, and people screaming, run, that's when I knew I had to get down.
I pulled Marika down next to me, but I sort of positioned myself under my chair. Where I was sitting, Marika was sitting next to me, and she positions herself next to the chair.
And then I look to my left, and I see Ellie getting up. Not sure why he was getting up. I can only imagine he felt the responsibility for the event to try to do something. But yeah, that's the last time I saw him, was getting up and walking around.
I lifted my head up to look for Marika, and I see things flying in the air, I just closed my eyes, I'll just try to lift my head up from under the chair. And I couldn't see Marika, of course, but this lady was screaming at me and made me very nervous. And she was absolutely hysterically crying. I just understood that she said in Russian, we're going to die, we're going to die.
All this big crowd came towards our car, screaming and crying and hitting the bonnet of the car, telling us, get out and run for your life, because shooters are killing people.
We tried to call Marika, no answer. And we called Agi, and Agi said, we're lying in the grass, and I can't see Marika. And there was blood everywhere and people screaming and the kids screaming. And that moment I totally switched off. I don't know what's happened afterwards. I couldn't focus. I don't remember. I had total sort of memory loss.
I was running around, seeing what I could do, seeing if I can find my daughter, my grandmother. And then someone screamed to me, your brother-in-law is dying.
But people started to get up, and the security guy came in, and he just pulled me up, and he told me that now we have to run. And I said, but I have my friend here. Where is my friend? He said she's gone, but if you want to save your life, you have to come with me. He said, the shooting haven't finished yet, but we have to run. If you want to stay alive, you have to run. And he took me towards the beach. And he said, don't go back because you're going to be shot.
Nellie said to me, we were sitting there, he said, Mary, you go home. There's no point of both of us dying here. And I said, Nellie, how can I possibly leave you? I said, I can't. We just have to go through this together.
I remember that my shoes was wet, my pants was wet, and I was walking in the water, and in the distance I saw people still swimming and playing ball games in the southern part.
Finally, we got through to Agi, and she said, I lost Marika. And we didn't know what she meant by lost Marika. We just thought she can't find her in the crowd.
after the shooting and after they were neutralized and people started to come, all the medics and Hatzalah and lifesavers and anyone who could help came around. I was running around, seeing what I could do. I saw my father in that moment as well, when he came in. And the shock in his eyes was, yeah, it was heavy. And he knew. He was telling me, Ellie's gone.
The whole thing was like a shock for me. And I just ran into the nearest restaurant, which one was the Trattoria.
It was the middle of dinner service, you know, it was 7:15, and so we had a lot of people in already. It was Sunday night. When she arrived, she seemed quite disoriented, and she was obviously quite stoic in her manner. You know, she was trying really hard to be civil and polite, but she was also clearly out of sorts.
I didn't want it to cause panic. My past 38 years of working with children, I'm a kindergarten teacher, and I know the children, how they can react when it's panic, when it's shock. I didn't want it to shock anybody, to tell them that I'm coming from the battle zone. I wanted coffee and a glass of water.
She said to me, I was there with my friends. Bear in mind, we hadn't seen any of it. All we'd seen was we'd heard banging and we'd seen people running on a street, but we hadn't seen what had actually happened.
I was just wondering, where is Marika gone? And I couldn't think, where did she go? And I spoke to Marika's son, Roman. And I was just sure that I have a fear that something happened to his mother.
And poor Agi was distressed, shattered. In this distressed voice, like not knowing where she is. I was next to Marika. We're living in hope. We're hoping what she's telling us isn't the truth. And the day goes on, goes into night, we go to the hospitals, like a lot of the poor victims' families. We're searching. We want to know where my mum is. We're just searching and hoping and wishing and praying that what happened didn't happen.
And I don't even know what time was, but he rang back that she's not in any hospital. She basically passed away.
Hi, Marika. Hi. Oh my God, this is not the little roses. This is big roses. Oh my God.
Yes.
Oh, thanks, Nelike. Thank you very much. We didn't want to get together at first because we couldn't talk about Marika. Welcome, Agi. And I think Agi was the most traumatized. I think I was incredibly lucky just going away with Nelly. I mean, we were not physically there, so we were really trying very much to support her.
This occasion, I wanted to thank Mary for hosting today. And thanks, girls, for your friendship and that everybody came. And thank you to be my friends.
It's our pleasure.
It's all our pleasure to be friends with all of you.
And what made it all the more special was that Marika's son, daughter-in-law and granddaughter came. The granddaughter was the apple of Marika's eye, as was her son. And that was very nice because we could talk about it.
Oh, look, here's everyone.
There's all these old BDs, friends with Marika for many years.
Hi! Oh, I haven't seen you for so long.
Beautiful Roman, who she loved absolutely dearly, the only son, and the beautiful daughter-in-law she also loved, and the 3 grandchildren was her life.
I'm all hugged out almost, so it's good. Look, all my mum's friends from when I was a little boy, I'll get a bit teary. Oh, they're just really nice people. They're just generous, kind. Sometimes they took care of me depending on the friendship group at the time. They always used to complain to me that I couldn't speak Hungarian. Do you speak Slovak? Do you speak Magyarski or whatever and I go, no. And they were pretty good. And the usual parent talk that, have you got a girlfriend or, that type of stuff. And they loved kids. They all loved kids, so they always treated me really nicely. You'd sit at the card table with them. I used to pluck the cards when they played gin rummy, or they're part of my pathway too.
I think he's doing pretty well, considering. I think he's doing okay, I hope. I think we're just all sad. Hang on. Sorry.
Marika's favorite cake was, she used to make it.
She made it.
To all her friends, they'd all call her Marika Darling. That was kind of her nickname. But to me and my brothers, she was Omi, and to all our friends, she was all of our grandma in a way. I think to everyone, she was a force to be reckoned with. She was always immaculate. She always had to have her nails done, her hair always combed.
Marika, the first impression was her smiley face, very warm aura, very inviting personality, very sharing and very helpful.
Omi and Argy they were like twins. I mean, they sometimes dressed the same. We'd see them and they'd both have bought the same top. And we just always knew it was you get Omi, you get Argy.
They had one argument once and they were both sick, physically ill, until they made up. It was a beautiful relationship.
She was the boss.
The boss. She was the boss of me too. Don't worry. And the boss of you.
Marika was the boss.
Marika was definitely the boss.
And somehow or other we listened to her mostly.
I don't know what's going to happen at now. We really a little bit like headless chickens because we don't know what to do.
Nelly is from Budapest and she's just got really, really frazzled because she was there on the beach and has a survivor's guilt really badly.
Maybe it would be better when I go. I'm not so good in the society, I'm a bit withdrawn. And Marika was so open for the society. Maybe it would be better when I go. I'm always thinking about that.
I think getting together, I think that night really helped us. This was the first time that all of us we spoke about what went on.
We have her Apple Watch and it only has her heart rate to 6:48 or something. I can't exactly remember.
So you left the key in the car?
Yeah.
And then what did you run? And you ran?
I ran all the way to the roundabout.
It's an interesting group. It's a motley crew. It's been going on for years and years and years.
They were very intertwined. They did everything together.
Every opportunities we jumped in. It's a party, we're going to party. We're going to movies, we're going to theater. We went everywhere.
It's always the girls that are together and the husbands fall into the background a bit. It is inspiring because you realise that so many people at that age could just be on their own or be alone, and that's never good for anyone. So I think they're all actually really lucky to have each other. That's what I want to be like. They hope when I'm 82, I want to see my friends that much and do everything together.
We don't need psychologists or psychiatrists because we had each other.
Marika did Meals on Wheels and they said that she delivered approximately 12,000 meals in the years that she was working there. The energy was unbelievable, Nothing was too much for her. She's going to be greatly missed by everybody.
We're lucky to share such a person. For Marika. Let's Marika.
We are Jewish, Some of them, I'm absolutely not religious, but by heart we are Jewish, and that's important.
We're not religious, but we kept some culture.
Most of the people, except for one or two, they were either themselves Holocaust survivors as little children, or they came with the Holocaust survivors' parents.
I grew up as the child of Holocaust survivor family. My mother's family had come out just before the war, both of them Hungarian Jews, and they both settled in Bondi and around there. Bondi, after the war in the 40s and 50s, was nothing like it is today. It was not a rich suburb, they were working class. It was grubby rather than glamorous. There was a lot of crowded apartments, lots of Hungarian, Austrian, Czech, some Polish Jews who'd come out after the war in a great influx, were desperate to start a new life and get as far away from Europe as they could, somewhere freer and innocent. They felt like they arrived in paradise.
Bondi was beautiful, just to walk down to the beach.
The Bondi Pavilion has been a hub for the Jewish community for many years. The pavilion itself was a focal point for people to come and meet, to eye out potential partners, wait for their friends, and those steps have been known traditionally as the Jerusalem steps. In the mid-1970s, there was a great change in the social fabric of the Sydney Jewish community with the opening of the Hanukkah Club.
Hanukkah Club was fantastic. We loved it. And when you had nothing to do, you just dropped in. I'm sure you find somebody there.
For us, we were quite poor at the time, and for us it was just wonderful to have such a club that you can go and to have dinner or just have some cheap food at the bistro, and you can go dancing.
People would have weddings and bar mitzvah receptions there, and of course food. Everything centred around food for the Jewish community in Sydney. The closure of the Hanukkah Club was a sad day for people of all ages. This is it. This is where the gelato bar used to be. The gelato bar became a mecca for not just Jews, but locals to come and see cakes that they'd never seen before. People could sit there close together, like what you'd see in Viennese and Hungarian and Parisian cafes. And so these all dotted the area of Bondi. And so it was a sense of feeling at home. The second great influx of Jews into Sydney occurred in the 1970s and 80s with the arrival of firstly Soviet Jews, and the Chabad Jewish synagogue was established there near the beach and have been welcomed into that community by Jews and non-Jews alike. And the Hanukkah ceremony at the shootings had been organised by the Chabad rabbis, and so they had organised the vigil. Of all of the rabbis who spoke, Rabbi Ullman's address towards the end had the most meaning for me on a number of levels.
Dear friends, my dear community, for almost 40 years, I've shared in weddings and births, tears and laughter. I have watched children grow up, parents grow older, and strangers become family, and the community blossom.
He had been, if not the founding father, the central organising force of the Russian Chabad community. He had lost his son-in-law, so he had a personal loss.
Rabbi Eli Schlanger married our daughter, oldest daughter, in 2007, and became part of our life and became part of our community. And not just part of our community, but he became an integral part and an essential part of the community. Yeah, he's just a very, very unique, special human being.
Seeing my father, unbelievable how he had the strength to give those words of light will win and speak about those victims in such a beautiful way, to eulogize them in a few words, but to give them the respect that they deserved.
Each one of the 15 precious souls has left us with lessons we can emulate. I want to name each one along with only one thing we can learn from them. Marika Pogany, a tireless volunteer who delivered thousands of meals. Let us care for the elderly, the vulnerable, and those who feel forgotten.
The Jews have a period of mourning after someone dies called Shiva, which means 7 days.
Shiva is the most intense part of mourning. The burials were very fresh, so in a sense it was still very much in the middle of Shiva. It was a feeling that we're all one family and we're all mourning for each other. And therefore it felt like a communal Shiva in a sense.
And when the rain came down, I think we all felt that that was part of the cleansing. And there was a sense of the beginning of healing. The history of at least for the Jewish community of Bondi, and for a lot of immigrants, was that of hope. And the local Bondi community has stood up, and they have come, and they've paid their respects, they've wrote their letters, they've given flowers, they've mourned with us, but that scar's got to stay there forever. But we can find a way to go back to that beach, go back to the park. We have to pick each other up and look for a brighter future.
I think for us, like, life goes on. It's just like, you know, you just miss that person. We can kind of cook her food and remember her. Sugar, flour.
Army style. Just.
There we go.
I don't think she would like us to be so sad and so distant from Bondi and angry with Bondi because what's happened. It's not Bondi's fault. We tough cookies and we go on. And we want to live.
I think Marika would say to us, get off your chairs and get on with life.
We're going to leave. We're going to have the group for continuing the group. But we're going to miss her. And we're going to miss her for a long, long time.